You're fierce. You're like Sasha Fierce out there.
Thank you. Yes, I am a very intense competitor, but I think that helps. It helps me keep calm. And just, yes, and I take deep breaths before I go, and I say little cue words before I go to also help.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Season 3 of Flipping Out with Bridget Sloan. I'm your host, Bridget Sloan, and this season we are talking all things NCAA gymnastics, from the athletes to the coaches to the insiders who make it all happen. And today's guest, Miss Jordan Bowers. Miss Jordan Bowers, the legend, the one and only Jordan Bowers.
Hello, thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you on. I know I'm excited. I have had the pleasure of covering you for years, so it is nice to kind of get to know you on a little different scale of maybe an analyst to gymnast. Now, hopefully we can get a little deeper into who Jordan Bowers really is.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. So you are a senior this year. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Really just taking in every little moment, not taking anything for granted, and just so excited to go out with my last year with a bang.
Absolutely. So before college gymnastics, you were a gymnast in Lincoln, Nebraska. How in the world did you get started in gymnastics?
Yeah, so I have an older sister. Her name's Felicity. She's 3 years older than me, and she did gymnastics. So, that was something I had always watched her do, and I would always flip around the house and do unsafe things around the house. So my parents decided to put me into a safe place to get my craziness out. So that's how I started, and just fell in love with it and never looked back.
Now, did you do any other sports than gymnastics, or was it like, this is my sport? And
I did competitive diving, which I absolutely loved. Yes, but at the age of 8, I got too busy, so I had to pick either gymnastics or diving. And I chose gymnastics because I would get really cold when I was little. I would turn purple. So being in the water, and all of that, I got really cold. So I chose gymnastics because I didn't get cold.
Fair. To be honest, that's a fair reason.
Yep.
I always like to say gymnasts, we're not meant for outdoor sports.
No, definitely not.
It's kind of one of those things. It's I feel like a lot of gymnasts too, you kind of get to that crossroad, and it normally is at a young age of what do you want to do? You've got a couple options. And I feel like a majority of the time you hear yeah, me example, I did soccer. I hated running.
Oh gosh, I cannot. No, thank you.
It wasn't for me. So I was yeah, gymnastics.
Yes.
Okay, so your sister was a main reason that you got into gymnastics. But what was it about gymnastics that made you stick with it all these years?
I think just, you are you're working so hard towards something new every single day, and it never gets boring. And you're always striving for perfection. You're striving to get new skills. In growing up, it was just always such a challenge, which I loved. And mentally, it was a challenge too. And it really just has shaped me into who I am today. Because, you have to grow up so independent to it. I mean, especially in club gymnastics and especially elite, you're on your own. So learning that from such a young age was definitely incredible and has shaped me into who I am.
That's awesome. So you touched on it just briefly, but elite gymnastics, it is, in my opinion, night and day different from college. So I would love to kind of talk about just your elite experience, and I definitely want to know what your highlight is, but how was your elite experience?
It was amazing. Definitely highs and lows, you know the brutality of it. So there's really high highs and there's really low lows. I don't regret anything of that journey though. It has made me into who I am today. So, and just has made me a better person and a better gymnast. So just all of that. Very grateful for it all.
That's awesome. I'm very happy to hear that you had a good elite experience. And then, okay, burning question that I've had. Why Oklahoma?
Oh, gosh, I have been coming to camp since I was little.
Okay.
I'm only 6.5 hours, so I'm in driving distance. So been coming to camp since I was little. KJ and Lou, like, and Tom, I've known them since I think my first camp was at 8 years old. So like
Oh, wow.
super
Yeah.
young, like tiny. And I just have loved it so much, and I always loved watching OU when I was little. So definitely my dream school, but during the recruiting process and all of that, I just felt like it was home. And
Yeah.
the coaches, I because I had known them for so long too, and I knew they weren't changing or going anywhere, like that was just a level of security
Mhm.
that you have like internally as well, especially because I committed in 8th grade. Like the rules have changed now, but I committed
You
at
were
such
one of those ones.
a
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so getting letters, like, in 5th grade was, like, such a crazy thought to me because 'cause I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, what even is college?" And, like, I'm over here choosing a college. So, definitely a crazy experience, but I just always felt that it was home, and then I came on my unofficial visit here, and I committed on my visit, actually, because I was like, "There's nowhere else, like, I'm coming here," so
Oh, wow. Okay, were there other actually, I guess if you committed on your unofficial, were there other schools that you were looking at?
yes, I took an unofficial to Florida earlier that
Okay.
year. So was really looking into Florida and OU were my top 2.
Pretty good
So,
programs, pretty good
yeah,
programs. If I think we
you're a
can
gamer,
both agree to
so
that.
yes.
So, you made the decision to go to Oklahoma, and there is that transition period, and it's such a unique really a unique period for a student athlete, for a student in general, but especially elite athletes. They tend to some have really great experiences and some it's a little challenging, to kinda get
Mhm.
into the NCAA and practice schedule and all the really the load of being a college athlete. How was that for you, especially coming from the elite world?
Yes, so I trained alone, I competed alone, like, I did all of that alone, so coming to the NCAA, coming into a team, working out with the team every day, competing with, like, doing everything as a team, definitely very new to me, and I did
Mhm.
struggle with it my freshman year just because it was such a big difference. So especially competing for a team because in elite you go out there, you're competing for yourself. Yes, like on the
Mhm.
international competitions, like you're competing for USA, you're competing for that, but you're mostly competing for yourself.
Right.
So that was such a big difference, and I definitely struggled with that. I'd say like the first half of my freshman year throughout season, and then really got the hang of it and got it under my belt and figured it out. But it was definitely a struggle for sure.
You know what? It is. I always tell people it's a struggle for everybody. It's just about how much you're gonna struggle. Like it's
Yes,
such a weird it's a weird transition.
it is.
So you have been just remarkable all 4 years. But
Thank you.
last year you did something and actually I was there. I got to witness this firsthand. You set a school record of 3 perfect tens in one meet.
Mhm.
How did you do that?
Oh my gosh, that was crazy. That whole day was just crazy. Like, as a
Mhm.
team, that was, like, everything just the stars aligned. Like, everything that we've been doing in the gym, and it all just came out, and we all performed our best gymnastics on that day. And we'd been talking about that, and we had always talked about the 199, like, getting a 199. It's not impossible, and we got pretty dang close.
Mhm.
But, starting off on vault, stuck my vault, got a 10, and then we had a bye because there was 5
Mhm.
teams. So we went upstairs and we were just staying loose and all of that. And I think the most important thing about that, like getting a 10, yes, it's amazing, but you can't let it like affect the rest of your meet, especially when you have 3 more
Right.
events left. So just starting fresh, like acting like that didn't even happen. and just doing my
Mhm.
gymnastics. And that's just exactly what I did, and it all unfolded, and it was truly incredible. One of the best days of my life.
I don't doubt that. I mean, getting 1 perfect 10 is a huge accomplishment, let alone 3, but do you remember your very first perfect 10?
Yes, it was my freshman year. It was on vault. It was senior night against Michigan. First event, everything, and it was amazing. I'd been working so hard in the gym on my vaults and
Mhm.
my landing and stuff, and finally getting that vault and that landing and getting that 10. Such a surreal moment that I will never forget.
That is amazing. So, you are now in the SEC. Welcome. We are so
Thank you.
happy to have you. How has that been for you guys so far?
Yeah, it's been truly incredible. We did compete against SEC teams when we were in the Big
Right.
12, but now we're in the SEC, so it's every single week. We're going to SEC meets every week. They're coming to us. So it really is such an incredible opportunity. And I love being a part of this conference. It really is unlike any other. It's, the gold standard of gymnastics. So super excited to be in it and just super honored.
Yeah. So, okay, you are okay, I'm gonna say this now. I love watching your bars, like, personally. It's just a personal favorite of yours. But when I talked to KJ, we were talking about your floor routine. You have
Yes.
always had these just gorgeous floor routines, and I know KJ puts so much work into them, and you guys just perform them so well.
Thank you.
But I wanna talk about this year's floor music.
Yes.
Where did it come from? How did you pick that floor music?
Okay, so I always try to do like something a little different every year because
Mhm.
I don't want to stick with the same exact style. They're all like very intense, obviously, but like still very different styles. I could never have a fun routine, but
Okay, fair.
yes. But we were just like, okay, this needs to be the best floor routine. It's going to be the last one. Like, spent so much time looking for music, and I love looking for music. So that's something that I really enjoy, and KJ really
Mhm,
enjoys too. So there's this choreographer, and I love his stuff, and he actually produces his own music as well. So part of it is like it's very original. He made it. Like he sent me the music and stuff. So part of it is his, and then it's Moonlight Sonata, but it's like a twist on it. So yeah, just really finding the best music to go with. And there were so many different versions and other things
mhm.
also. And KJ and I just sat down together and really just pieced it together to make it perfect. And I absolutely love it. It's my favorite one, and I love competing it.
It's a pretty good one. I feel like it's one of those floor routines you just, like, you stop what you're doing and you watch, which is essentially always the goal. Um,
Yes.
so would you well, I guess what is your favorite event to compete in college?
I would say floor.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, competing floor. I don't like training floor, but competing
I
floor.
can I can definitely relate to that. So
Yes.
you guys, not only did you have to transition into a new conference, but every year it's a new team. And I feel like a lot of people don't really understand that, but it really is. You've
Yes.
got new freshmen coming in, people are graduating. What have you loved about this team so far?
We have a really young team. We got 6 new freshmen in.
Right.
And they are all so special in each of their ways, and they bring so much personality to the team and just so much like lightheartedness, I would say.
Mm,
And they are all so talented, as is the rest of the team. But them coming in and just seeing how hard they wanted to work and they wanted to do these things, like, and that just motivates us too. Especially us seniors too. We are such an incredible senior class. We all have so much experience. So, really honing in and helping out those freshmen as soon as they came on campus. And we are all so close. This is the closest team that I have been on out of my 4 years. So that truly is something special to be a part of.
That's awesome. So you're a student athlete, but you're also just, a person. And I would like to know, what does Jordan like to do outside of the gym? Because I see what you do inside the gym and it's incredible. But what are some of your favorite things to do outside?
Well, I do have a dog. I have a Great Dane. So he
So a
is my
horse.
pride and joy. Yes. He is my pride and joy. I
Oh,
love hanging out with him. We'll go to the dog park. We'll go for a walk. And just like hang out. He loves to cuddle, like the biggest cuddle bug. He thinks he's a human, basically. Like he likes to lay his head on the pillow at night and sleep.
as he should,
So
as he should.
yeah, so hanging out with him, hanging out with my fiance, doing things that we like to do together. I love being outside, um, especially when it's nice. But yeah, and I do love shopping. I love to shop
Okay.
online and in person. So
Oh, that's actually really interesting to hear that you like both because I feel like most people it's like either love being in the store or I only like online shopping. You're
two,
double dipping over here.
I am, yes. And
Well,
I love just like watching TV and like just chillaxing.
chillaxing. Everybody loves to
Yeah,
chillax. I can
yeah.
I can see that. After a long day, you come home, you've got your dog next to you,
Oh,
you're
for sure.
watching. Oh,
A
love
show
that.
on. Yeah, my fiance and I are big show people. So
Oh, what are you guys watching now? And then I'm gonna ask you one more.
okay, we just finished the Ultimatum South Africa. We love reality TV.
Okay.
Yes,
I have no idea what that show is, but
it's like a dating
is it
show.
like oh, is this like Love Island?
Kind of, yes, and it's very
Okay.
spicy. Yes,
Oh,
it's
and your
mhm.
fiance is into the spicy rom-com
Yes.
reality you know what? That's great. Keep him around. That is so nice. That is so refreshing. Um, okay, so you mentioned your fiance. I would love to know just a little bit more about how you guys met and
Mhm.
then your amazing engagement and just how that's all going for you.
Yeah, so we met freshman year. He's a gymnast here at OU as well. And us freshman girls and guys, we live in the same dorm, just like on different sides. So we would hang out a lot, do stuff after practice. Like we'd play
Mhm.
spike ball or volleyball out in the court area. We'd eat together every day, like or just hang out and whatever. But we were just all such like a fun and close group, and just really connected with him like right off the bat. And yeah, started dating freshman year of September, and then um, let's see, we got engaged March of last year, the day after Big 12s. Yes, that was such an incredible weekend too. Um, and the engagement was a complete surprise. Like I had no idea. That was his biggest thing was he didn't want me to know about it. So he had had the ring since January. It was in our closet. Like I had no idea about about any of it. Yep, day after Big 12s, we are gonna go up and eat with my family up in the city. And he's like, okay, like we're gonna go to this garden. And I'm not having it that day. I was like, I'm tired, I'm hungry, like I just want to eat. Like he's like, no, like we're gonna go to this garden. I'm like, okay, whatever, fine. I'm like moping through the garden. It's like cold and kind of rainy-ish. I am just not having it. But it was okay with him because he knew that I didn't know. We're walking through the garden. He stops me at this one spot, um, and just tells me how much he loves me and gives me a hug. And I'm like not catching on. So he's like, "Oh my gosh, what do I do?" Like,
You're like, "Thank you. I feel the same. This is good."
he's like, "I love you so much. Like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you." I'm like, love you so much too. I want to spend the rest of my life with you too. Like, you already know this. Like, then he gives me a hug and then puts me down and then he gets on a knee and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is actually happening. And his teammate comes out of the
Oh.
bushes. He was hiding in the bushes, taking photos. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. Like I was being so mean. But it was the most perfect day as well. So
Oh, that is makes my heart happy. I love that you guys met freshman year and, you
yes.
know,
Yes, we've
you
been
could
through it all.
you could
We've been through it all together here. So
yeah. That's awesome.
yeah.
So he's a senior also.
Yes.
Okay. Very
Yes.
nice. So I kind of want to okay, we're going to go back to the gymnastics cuz I had a question that popped up. I don't know why I didn't ask it, but I would love to know some of your goals for yourself this year. And then of course going back to everybody always wants to know what the team goal is, but definitely your personal goals for this year.
Obviously, team goal, win a natty champ, obviously.
Mhm.
So that's always the goal. You know, it's what we come in and we work towards as a team. Individually, I would just say, not taking anything for granted, just having the most fun that I possibly can because it is my last and just trying to enjoy it all. And I feel like I've done a great job of that already. Seeing everybody out there compete just makes me happy too. Doing the most that I can for the team as well, and just being the most confident self that I can be. So, and doing my best gymnastics week in and week out, and just have it unfold itself.
I love it. So, we do a little social media question, and I actually got some good ones for you. I was
Yeah.
some of them that got asked, I was like, "Oh, that's a good question. I should have thought of that too." So, I feel like a lot of people you mentioned this earlier about, floor, you could never have like a fun
Mm-hmm.
could have a fun routine, but like I
But it's
understood
just
what
not
you meant.
me. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? You found your strength and you ran with it.
Mhm.
That's what it's all about.
Yes.
So, someone asked, "How do you keep your composure when you compete?"
Mm.
Like, I mean, you're like a stone cold, like, you're fierce. You're like Sasha Fierce out there.
Ah, thank you. Yes, I am a very intense competitor, but I think that helps me keep calm. Um, and
Okay.
just know yes, and I take deep breaths, before I go, and I say little cue words before I go to
Mhm.
also help. Um, and then a little thing that I do on beam, I don't know if you've noticed, I actually leave the arena before I go and compete.
Okay.
Sorry, my dog's making an appearance.
Perfect.
But yes, I leave the arena, like, I don't like to be
Okay.
the arena at all before I go, but, like, I can hear, like, when the person before me is done, so then I head out. But that's something that really helps me too. I don't like to watch the person go before me as well. Beam, I don't watch anybody before me. But yeah, that's something that just helps me as well. So
Wow. So I mean, you're just like, "All right, guys, I'm gonna
yep,
go. I'm gonna."
I peace out of there.
I mean, it's so interesting. So I have never noticed that, but I can tell you right now, I'm gonna look now, and I'll be like, "Oh, there she goes," and
Yep.
Jordan has left the building.
Yep.
Do you have any other I don't like to call them superstitions, but rituals. I think that's a better word. Like, do you have any other rituals that you're like, "I do this every time?"
Yes. Actually, I am, like, one of the most superstitious people ever.
Okay.
Yeah, like, in my day-to-day life too. So, that started from a pretty young age. My dad was a baseball player, so he's very superstitious, so I think it just rubbed
Mhm.
off on me. And then once I get one thing going, it just snowballs, and I just can't stop it. So, oh gosh, meet day, let's see. I okay. I have to do everything in the same order, like,
Okay.
every little so, um, I get my hair done by the same person. I feel like that's not really I mean, it is a superstition thing, but I feel like everybody does that.
Mhm.
So I get my hair done by the same person. I have to use certain lotion on meet day, and then I
Hey.
yep, I have to use one of my teammates' straightener every time for my hair. I do my makeup in the same order, like hair in the same order, same hair ties. Like I know the order of the hair ties and it's crazy. It gets crazy. Yeah. Same like amount of sprays of perfume. Like I do everything in like a very orderly fashion. And then same thing at the arena, everything's like the same. Like warm tub, I get taped a certain way. I do things when I go back up, like tattoos a certain way. Someone does same person does my ribbon, same person does my tattoos and stuff. Um, I eat things a certain way. Yeah, it just goes down the list. It's pretty crazy.
Okay. You might say crazy. I think it's a ritual. I mean, it's a ritual
Yes.
of yours. I'm gonna guess that you tape up the exact same for bars.
Yes. I do that every day too, like practice everything. And if I mess up, I'll start over. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I completely agree with that. I fully understand that. There is nothing worse than you're like halfway through taping up and you're like, I did this
this is
wrong. Yep. Take it all. It's
and then
like
you're going
you
through the
take it
whole
all
practice,
off.
you're like, this is not good. Like
It's like it sets you up for the rest of the day. You're like, I'm gonna be off all day today because I
1000%.
taped up my right hand first, but normally I do my left hand first, and it
Yeah.
just throws it's like it throws off the juju all day.
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
Put my grips on a certain way, do stuff before
Mhm.
being a certain like, everything is just, yeah. When I think about
I
it,
feel
I'm like, "Oh my
like
gosh, how do I remember all those things?"
honestly, that is impressive. The hair ties is really impressive, but I also do think athletes in general, at a young age, they start doing things and
Mhm.
it just never like, you
No.
just
I've been
never
doing, like,
stop.
the hair tie thing, like, all of that since, like, I can remember, since, like, my elite days and stuff. And I would wear the same outfit. I have to wear the same I wear a certain sweatshirt on meet days.
Okay.
Like, that hasn't changed or anything, so I've kept it going since I was little. Now it's just a lot more, but
Now it's just a little more intense. You might need to start
yeah.
taking notes, like, in your notebook, write it all down.
I think it was sophomore year, towards the end of the year, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this year needs to end because it's getting out of hand." Like,
It was
I
too
was like
much. It was too
yes.
much. Oh my gosh. So, let's see. Oh, this one I'm actually also dying to know because you guys always have gorgeous leotards.
Thank you.
What one is your favorite?
Oh, my favorite that is so hard.
Mhm.
I have a few. I would say probably just an all-time favorite is Jersey.
Okay.
Um, I'll find a picture of it. It's just like it's just such, like, classic Oklahoma, and I love it. It's stunning. It looks so good on everybody. Like, it is just I love it. Definitely, I would say probably an all-time favorite.
Now, do your leotards all have, like,
This one.
names?
Yes.
That is the very, like,
And then it says Sooners on the
original
back.
classic.
I
Mhm.
I love that, Leo. It's so flattering. Yes, all of
We
our
also
Leos
love
have
that.
all of our Leos have names. Um,
Okay.
and then another one, I love Skeleton. They won in 2017 in that Leo.
Okay.
Um,
Now, who names the
it's
leotards?
this one.
I remember that one.
Yes,
Oh my
I love
gosh.
that one. KJ names them. KJ and Ash name them.
Okay.
Yes. And then I also love Empire, which is the one that we won in my freshman year in 22.
Mhm.
That one's really pretty. And then Million Dollar, the one we won in my sophomore year. That one is gorgeous with the tan
I love
sleeves.
Oh, the tan sleeves, I do remember that one. Tan sleeves
Yes,
have really made a comeback.
they have.
Like, I feel
Yes.
like I
It was
used to
like
wear
those tan
them.
with, like, the red jewels on it, so it, like, popped.
Ooh, mhm. I
Yeah.
do remember that one. That one was I mean, they're always gorgeous. Um, okay. What are your plans for after college? This is
Oh,
a burning
yes.
question, and don't feel like you have to, like, know what you're gonna be doing after college because I don't wanna put that pressure on anybody, but
So I get married in June, June
amazing.
20th, so we're getting married and then, going on our honeymoon after that, and I'm extending my undergrad, and I'm gonna student coach, for our football and basketball teams for a strength and conditioning coach.
That's awesome. Oh my
Yeah, so
gosh,
that's what I'm gonna do.
congratulations.
Thank you. I've always wanted to do that, be a strength and conditioning coach for a university or professional team, so dipping my toes in the water to get there, so
Hey, honestly, use those resources. I
yes,
I think
1000%.
that is I think that is awesome, especially
Thank
doing
you.
it with, like, getting to see other sports. That'll be
Yes, I'm
really
very
cool.
interested in that, yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay. This one kinda made me laugh because when you move away from home, people always ask, "Are you planning to move back? Are you planning to move back to Nebraska?"
I love Nebraska, like, born and
Okay.
raised there, like, I absolutely love Nebraska. I'm not sure if I see myself moving back there anytime soon, at least, I do love it here in Oklahoma. I'm definitely a Midwest girly, so
Okay.
would love to stay in the Midwest, or even, like, Texas-ish, whatever, but I'm not a big city girl, so I
Mhm.
also grew up on a farm, so the big cities are a little harder for me to adjust to. And my fiance's from Phoenix, so he came here and he was like, "Oh my gosh, like, there's nothing."
Mhm.
But he's
Yeah.
learned to love it, he absolutely loves it, and he loves Nebraska too, so I feel like we'll definitely stay Midwest.
I okay. I never gave Norman, Oklahoma credit. It actually is very like, I've seen the photos during summer and I'm like, "Wow, that looks lovely." I think it was because we always saw it, like, in the dead of winter, and it's like,
Yeah, that's just not
it's
pretty.
a little tough. It's just a little tough.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and you went to Florida, and it was just always sunny and green and beautiful, so that's definitely a big difference.
I mean, I didn't even leave. That's the thing. I went to Florida and then I never left. That's why whenever people ask, like, "Would you ever move back to the Midwest?" I'm like,
No.
"Probably not." I know my family would love for me to move back, but, I
Yeah,
need sunshine every day. I do.
I get that, I get that. I love having all of the seasons.
That is one thing I miss.
Mhm.
Mm, you
I
guys get
love
fall, really pretty
yes,
fall. I'm
yes.
jealous. I'm jealous
But
of
I grew
that.
up like that, and my fiancé only grew up with hot, so he doesn't really like the winters here, but, I mean, it doesn't even get as cold as it does at home, so
You guys okay, Lincoln gets, like, negatives, like, y'all
yes,
cold
like,
that's not even cold.
constant negatives.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like that's just another category of cold. Yeah, that's not for me.
Double digit negatives, but I grew up in it, so it wasn't, like, anything for me.
But can you imagine going to class in
Oh,
negative
definitely okay,
double
now going
digits?
to class, that's definitely different. Like, walking to class because the wind is bad here, because it
Mhm.
gets cold and then it's really windy, so it's, like, hitting you in the face.
Oh
That's when it
gosh.
gets bad here,
So you just,
but
like, constantly look like you have, like, a sunburn from
yeah,
windburn.
yeah, put a little ski mask on or something, cover your
Oh,
face.
yeah, that's smart. You
Yeah.
know what? KJ should get you guys all, like, Oklahoma ski masks so
Matching
that when
ski
you're
mask.
walking to class you know what? I think that's a great
That'd be
idea.
hilarious.
Hopefully, that'll be in the budget next year, and I can see that come to life. I would love that.
Yes. along with the big winter puffer coats.
I used to get so jealous that every other school had like big warm coats. Cause let's be
Yeah,
honest, arenas are cold.
they are
Like
cold. Yes.
well, you're also in a leotard. And I
Yeah.
see them with these big puffer coats. And I was like, just because we are in Florida does not mean that we should not have a big puff coat for
We're still
competition.
traveling to those places.
Thank you. Thank you. See, you get it. You get it.
Uh,
Okay. So I ask all the athletes this question, and it's one of my favorite questions. What would you tell your younger self? Or if you could tell her one thing, what would you tell her?
oh, I would say to just not take it as seriously because I would focus like my whole life was gymnastics. I mean, obviously, like still kind of is now, but everything I did was pertain around gymnastics, and I was always so like uptight about it. And at the end of the day, it's just gymnastics. It's definitely. And I also used to think that gymnastics was what was my identity too. So I just lived through gymnastics, and that's all I did. And definitely not the case. Gymnastics is not your identity, and you are definitely more of a person than you are as a gymnast. So just taking things with a grain of salt. And at the end of the day, it's just gymnastics.
That wraps up today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to tune in each week because we'll be dropping new episodes from the amazing guests that I have lined up for you. I am your host, Bridget Sloan, and this is season 3 of Flipping Out with Bridget Sloan. Please make sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Let's make some good life choices out there, and don't forget to be awesome. Bye, guys.